your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
All right, on the satellite radar picture, we actually are tracking some showers. Take a look at the activity down here near Shelbyville and then stretching to just south of Sullivan and west of the Charleston-Mattoon area. That little pocket of rain is diving to the south and east, and most areas will see the rain showers come to an end here later tonight. 51 still in Champaign, 57 in Effingham. With the out-the-door forecast, looking at temperatures in the lower 40s to start out with dry conditions. We'll talk about a cooler Tuesday, though, coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
If the employer adopts a safer practice, their workers will be less sick and will spread the illness less.
Essential employees aren't immune from getting COVID-19. What changes some people are suggesting to keep them safe. Still waiting for your stimulus money? You aren't the only one.
I heard all the sirens, because that's unusual in the town of St. Joe.
One man was in for a surprise tonight, how a community welcomed him back from deployment.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
What's a grocery store's liability going forward?
It's a question some companies have to consider as the COVID-19 crisis continues. Now, some labor experts are suggesting grocery stores change how they operate to protect employees and shoppers. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. The U.S. Labor Department recently proposed that essential retailers use a drive-through window or offer curbside pickup to protect workers. It's not a requirement at this point, but there are pros and cons to weigh when considering such a drastic change. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen has more.
The U.S. death toll from coronavirus is more than 41,000 and rising. Some who have died are essential workers at grocery stores.
Higher death rates, higher illness rates, and these are typically low-wage people who don't have good health care.
Michael Leroy, a U of I professor of labor employment relations, emphasized that these employees are exposed to customer contact when at work, putting them at a greater health risk.
If the employer adopts a safer practice, their workers will be less sick and will spread the illness less.
The U.S. Department of Labor says one practice that grocery store corporations could implement is banning customers from going inside to shop and switch to curbside pickup and delivery. But that comes with many pros and cons.
It's hard for any employer to think about reorganizing in a box store environment delivery curbside. That's daunting. That said, at some level, we hope that they care about the welfare of their employees.
Companies also have to consider the possibility of higher numbers of worker comp claims relating to the effects of COVID-19 on employees.
Employers have a duty of care to their employees. So if you're not taking reasonable precautions to protect them from death or serious illness, you have liability exposure.
While corporate leaders at Walmart, Target, Kroger, and more have not publicly announced changes to their in-store operations, these are just some of the factors that would play a part in those decisions moving forward.
If, in fact, it's going to save a significant number of lives, even any lives, it's something that should be considered.
That was Jennifer Jensen reporting. Labor experts have also suggested shortening work hours and requiring employees to wear masks while at work, which is already mandatory in some areas in the U.S. The state's Department of Public Health announced another 1,100 new cases of coronavirus today. That includes 59 deaths. There are now 31,000 cases in the state. 1,349 people have died. To see county-by-county numbers, you can go to WCIA.com. Experiencing a pandemic like this is a first for a lot of people, but it is not the first time our country or the central Illinois area has been faced with this kind of challenge. One significant blow to this area was smallpox. That was in the early 1900s. It killed 3 out of 10 people. Another was the Spanish flu. It killed around 23,000 people in Illinois alone, and some of the worst of it came during its second wave.
It was at the end of World War I. Everybody was so happy that World War I was over that they went out and got in big crowds that celebrated the end of the war. and then it peaked again.
A more recent example is the polio outbreak in the 50s. Pools and other public places were shut down. Historians say it's important to look back and learn from those events as we navigate this one. The Champaign School District is providing Chromebooks to hundreds of students and about 2,400 meal boxes to families every week as schools remain closed. That work requires staff to be in fairly close proximity to the families that pick up the food and technology, though about half of those meals are delivered on Fridays. This means Champaign School staff has to wear personal protective equipment. The district is utilizing the purchasing power of the city to help with buying masks and face shields.
So we've ordered some more masks and shields for those employees that are on the front line in distributing these items. So we feel pretty confident that we have what we need right now, and we have some pathways to secure more in the future if we need more.
Superintendent Susan Zola says the district is excited about its partnership with CU Better Together, which started today. While Champaign Schools provides breakfast and lunch for kids 18 and younger, the partnership goes beyond that by offering additional meals. Thousands of people are still waiting for their stimulus money. That includes a couple in Mattoon. Paula and Tiffany Landman filed their taxes through H&R Block. They have a card through that company called an Emerald card. That's where their tax refund goes and where their stimulus money should be deposited. But 5 days after they were told their money should be there, it's not.
We still have a world running, and this virus cannot continue to be the excuse. Like, they need to get this taken care of. This is the United States of America. It should never happen to begin with. So, and there's people much worse off than us.
H&R Block says the IRS is determining when and how the stimulus money is distributed. They say they are processing payments as soon as they get them. To keep up to date with the latest on COVID-19, you can download the WCIA 3 news app. 2 Danville hotels are getting some help from the state. Many rooms are vacant as fewer people travel during this pandemic. Days Hotel and Quality Inn and Suites were chosen in a lottery to get $25,000 grants each. That will help them pay their employees and cover utility bills.
It's like very helpful to get the immediate money on your hand. That's how you have a confidence to survive next couple of months till the economy goes better. And emotionally, I feel so happy that I don't have to lay off any of my employees.
The money is expected to come through within the next week. The Quality Inn and Suites is also offering 2 complimentary nights to any medical or state workers who come into town to help with relief efforts. We need your help collecting masks for essential workers in Champaign County. Right now there's a shortage. We're partnering with the Health District, United Way, and EDC to collect thousands of homemade masks. This drive will be Tuesday, April 28th in our back parking lot in Champaign. You should follow CDC guidelines for mask making and put them in a sealed plastic bag. On the 28th, you can drive up, toss your mask into a bin, and drive off with no contact. Police believe a man accused of murder in another state stayed in the Champaign-Urbana area for a while after that crime. 22-year-old Ian Kearns from Sandwich, Illinois, is one of 2 suspects involved in a deadly shooting and attempted robbery in Wisconsin. U of I police say Kearns was staying near campus and later found out he stayed in a nearby hotel. They found his belongings and car at the hotel, but he left before officers got there. They say they have info that he may have already left to the Chicago area, but they can't confirm that, so they want people to be vigilant. One man is dead and another hurt after a shooting early this morning. It happened on Columbus Street in Danville. Police found 2 21-year-old men had been shot. We now know the man who died was Caleb Cordes. The other victim was taken to the hospital. Investigators say the 2 were outside of a house when someone went up to them and started shooting. No word on any suspects. 2 people were also shot in Decatur early this morning. This happened on East Walnut Street near North Folk Street. Police say a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old were shot in their legs. They are expected to be okay. A newspaper has been part of One Downtown for years, where it's now moving to instead. Plus, we're showing you the bright side of life, what good things you have to share in our bright spot. And later, spring sports are already on hold for universities, but some are wondering if that'll be the case for fall sports too. What Illini Athletic Director Josh Whitman had to say about Illinois football.